Adult Itadori Yuji is one of the strongest characters we have ever seen in Jujutsu Kaisen history, if not the very strongest, with him finally having reached those words of Gojo that he will indeed surpass Gojo. But just how strong was this living legend that he even gets compared to as being at the very least equal to Gojo back in the day? This absolute beast, Itadori Yuji, the man who at his prime easily surpasses even that of Sukuna in terms of potential, and very likely would be able to destroy either Sukuna or Gojo at his peak. Let us talk about Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo spoilers in this video, because the lore we've gotten for Yuji so far is absolutely remarkable. But hey, let's just get right into it. Be sure to leave a like on the video, it helps out so much, and of course be sure to subscribe for a ton of Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo videos on this channel. I'll be making a ton of content on power scaling, theories, leaks and spoilers, and the official chapter reviews. I'll be covering it all, so if you do love Jujutsu Kaisen, trust me, you will not regret subscribing to this channel. So the first thing that we need to talk about is this panel, and of course I'll break this video down into sections, but first things first, this is utterly insane and ridiculous. So let me read it for you here. I know you're familiar with the culling game that occurred 68 years ago, which prompted the signing of the treaty. Satoru Gojo and Yuji Itadori put a stop to it. But do you know of anyone as extraordinary as them nowadays in Japan? So this is the thing that had truly got me very hyped up for how strong adult Itadori Yuji is. Yuji is not being referred to as someone who helped Satoru Gojo. He is not being referred to as someone in Gojo's group, where it was like Satoru Gojo and all of his students, all of his sorcerers, the ones who defeated Sukuna. He is put on the same pedestal as Satoru Gojo. It is Satoru Gojo and Itadori Yuji are the ones who put a stop to it, and they're both compared to in the exact same way, where they're both said to be extraordinary. And of course, I know that I'm simply overanalyzing text, but hey, that's the point of being a YouTuber, that's the point of being such a mega fan of Jujutsu Kaisen. You really look at the details, and I do think that Gege would never do something like this on purpose. Do remember that yes, Gege is not drawing this, but Gege is writing every single dialogue here. Everything that we're seeing is completely canon and written fully by Gege, and even the rough drafts for the whole chapter are actually Gege's drafts. So the vision that we're seeing, it may not be his art, but this is actually Gege's vision. It's based off of his own rough drafts. So before anyone starts saying like this isn't what Gege would have said, this is literally Gege writing the story. So everything that happens, this is 100% Gege. Him saying Yuji and Gojo on the same tier, like in terms of sentencing, it's not as if there's a difference between them or one's above the other. It's and right there, they're put together on the same level of what they did 68 years ago. But more importantly, it's the line after that. Do you know anyone as extraordinary as them nowadays? If Gojo was the one that was extraordinary, or if Gojo was the one that would have been able to stop Sukuna, which is the whole point of what this jackass is saying right here, then it would have just said, do you know anyone as extraordinary as Satoru Gojo nowadays in Japan? I can tell you as a absolute fact, that's what would have been said. It would have been that, not simply Yuji Itadori included in that. It does seem like after what happened in Shinjuku, Yuji's reputation, of course, it makes sense since it was all live streamed, skyrocketed, completely skyrocketed after that. And I want to say this makes complete sense. Before anyone starts throwing a fit or saying how is Yuji ever as strong as Gojo or Sukuna, what are you saying in this clickbait title and thumbnail? I'm gonna be honest, like I truly wholeheartedly believe this title and thumbnail is not clickbait, unless it was shown that Yuji died extremely early, like he died at 18 or a year after JJK by some grade 3 curse, or maybe just by disease. Like I have a theory that maybe because he ate all those death paintings because of how he was born, maybe like that may have affected his lifespan. If that is the case, I mean, I also prefer, and this is the theory I hope is true, it's another theory of mine, it's the most popular one though, it's not like my own theory, everyone's going with this, is that Yuji is currently alive. Maybe he's just not as strong as he was in his past, because he's probably like what, 80 something, 70, 80 something, so he's extremely old, right, in his 80s, but he could very well still be alive, so we could see him. That would be very cool, and I will talk about that later in the video, so don't worry about that. But if Yuji never died to some illness early or to something crazy when he was younger, Yuji definitely, as an absolute fact, would have surpassed Gojo and Sukuna. Let me explain right now. Yuji is a prodigy among prodigies of prodigies. People think Gojo is this extremely rare talent, someone who's got just as much as him as Higuruma, and we saw how much Higuruma grew from the time where he knew nothing about being a sorcerer, and within 20 days he was already on a level of an extremely high tier grade 1, and I would even put him above most grade 1s. I mean, he would smoke any sorcerer out there, honest to god, like Naobito, this guy, that guy, he would absolutely smoke them. Though he didn't really lose to Yuji, he would have killed Yuji, but it went the way it did because of philosophy and moral debates and all that stuff. I'm trying to say Yuji started off knowing nothing as a sorcerer. He's not like Gojo, who was groomed from his absolute birth. This guy was born into this world and he was groomed, trained every day, and he only slept 4 hours since he was a kid to be a sorcerer with the highest quality of education, the highest equipment and training facilities, and everything he needed was at his fingertips from a child all the way until he was 16, 17. Yuji is 15 when JJK happened. All of JJK Part 1, Yuji is 15 years old. Gojo was older than him in hidden inventory, and I promised you, like, this, it is an interesting debate, but Yuji at the end of Shinjuku, like how strong he was at that point, would have absolutely smoked Gojo. I truly, honest to god, believe that. I think he would have beaten Gojo in hidden inventory. I don't think it would have been an easy fight or like a low diff or something. I think it'd be a very tough fight, but I do actually believe Yuji would win that fight. Yuji is insanely powerful at the end of Shinjuku Showdown, at the end of the series. I don't know why people underestimate his level of reverse curse technique, his level of cursed energy output, his level of refinement, his actual techniques and style of fighting, and his physical strength level, and everything about him is off the fucking chart. Like, he is really powerful as someone who's only been doing Jujutsu Sorcery for 6 months. 6 months, like, let that sink inside the house right now. 6 months he was a sorcerer and he was that strong, and he has the same potential as Sukuna simply because he has his technique. Add on top of the fact that he has blood manipulation, which is a top 3 technique in all of history, that he has that technique as well, which in and of itself has the potential to be on the same level as the 6 Eyes Limitless and the 10 Shadows of Maharaga. That's true, we've just never seen anyone unfortunately reach that potential. Like, Choso never even began to reach that level, but we know as a fact, because of the 3 vengeful cursed spirits, like, those 3 techniques all are on the same level. As crazy as that sounds, it has that, somehow it has that potential. We've just never seen anyone reach it. Like, not even Choso never even came close. In terms of what we know in Jujutsu history and lore, he never came close. The point being, Yuji has that potential. Yuji genuinely has that potential, and if not more, because he ate all of those death paintings, and even his reverse curse technique and the way he can control his blood is way better than what a human can do, because he has the physiology of a death painting, which makes it incredibly powerful, because he can convert his own cursed energy into blood. That's something not a normal blood manipulation user can do, and he can do that. His potential with the blood manipulation technique is already top 3 curse technique in history level. Then you give him Sukuna level potential with his curse technique, which he only just got in Shinjuku Showdown. He just only got that technique. Like, I know a lot of people saying, man, Yuji's cleave and dismantle was so weak, it was this, that, and the other. He unlocked it during a fight with Ryomen Sukuna, and it was still able to cut Sukuna and do damage, and was actually a deep threat, because Yuji was able to apply his soul attacks, which I want to remind you, this guy has soul attacks. He was able to apply that to his curse technique that he just unlocked. Like, this guy was extraordinary beyond extraordinary. He can quite literally attack any sorcerer, attack their soul, and his physical level is special grade, like plus level in terms of physicality, in terms of speed, and this is at the tender age of 15 years old. 15, he's a child, and he's up against Ryomen Sukuna, popping his domain in the middle of a battle, unlocking his curse technique. Like, all of these things that we just saw, he just unlocked. He just got blood manipulation a month ago, he just got his cleave and dismantle curse technique, he quite literally just randomly pops his domain out, all at age 15, and this is someone who, as a fact, he has more potential than Gojo. Gojo himself has said that. Gojo himself said that the next generation needs to surpass him. It was said by Uraume and by the narrator that he has the same potential as Sukuna based off of his cleave and dismantle and his relationship to Sukuna alone, not including his blood manipulation, not including his soul proficiency, not including his physicality, all of that just by his technique of Sukuna. You're telling me someone who grew to that level at 15, who was a sorcerer for only 6 months, who just got blood manipulation a month ago, who just got cleavage mantle, who just unlocked a domain right then and there. That was when he unlocked it. Imagine you give him decades of training. Imagine you give him a year of training. Give him 1 single year of training, and let's see how strong this guy's going to be. Just give him 1 year, and he's a prodigy. He learns fast. He learns very fast. That's something we saw in the very beginning of Jujutsu Kaisen when he was learning cursed energy manipulation, when Gojo was teaching him with the movies and all that stuff. He is truly gifted. He was already at a grade 1 level during Shibuya when he'd barely been a sorcerer for any time at all. It's phenomenal. It's actually phenomenal. And that's why I want to say Yuji, as a fact and as an adult, completely surpassed Sukuna and Gojo. Sukuna is a very interesting case because Sukuna is gifted in so many ways, and so is Gojo, but I do really believe Yuji is as well. People really underestimate him, people really sleep on him. They don't realize how much of a fighting and jujutsu prodigy this guy is. This guy is a prodigy among prodigies, like how he was hitting his black flashes, how he was relentless, his pure instincts to the jujutsu world and fighting, his physicality, like how everything about him, how he fights, how he doesn't give up, how he just chooses the best options time and time again, how he clutches it every single time and unlocks his curse technique when it's needed, instantly applies soul damage to it, instantly gets his domain expansion when it's needed. This guy is gifted. People like to say, oh yeah, Sukuna and Gojo are the only ones gifted. Look at this guy. Jesus Christ, look at this guy, how strong he is, okay? Now I want to talk about just how strong he actually was as an adult. I do believe that Yuji had blood manipulation definitely mastered down because Kamo is still alive, probably trained quite a lot of the Kamo clan. I mean, it's possible that Yuji became one of the heads of the Kamo clan or a member of the Kamo clan, which is tough to say because Noritoshi Kamo was still alive, so he, I hope, would have been the head, but it's possible that Yuji could have also been the head, maybe just because of how strong he simply was, but his blood manipulation would have been extraordinary. I mean, let's say he's 28, like Gojo's age, so he would have had 13 years of training, 13 years of more experience, and keep in mind, he only had 6 originally and only just got his techniques like in the past month. Some of them just having unlocked them literally as the series ended. Within that hour is when he got these techniques. Imagine how refined and strong his domain expansion is going to be. Imagine how insanely lethal his cleave and dismantle is going to be. Like, he's got Sukuna's techniques. Imagine this guy can like throw out cleave and dismantles like Sukuna, as strong as like I guarantee you, give him a decade of training, as strong as Sukuna, if not at least close. And he's got blood manipulation like on an insane level, and he can create his own blood manipulation of his own cursed energy. He doesn't have the weakness of a normal blood manipulation user who's a human. He's got black flashes on command. He's got reverse curse technique that's infinitely better than any other sorcerers because he can reattach his limbs, because he's got the physiology of a death painting. He's got physical stats that are completely ridiculously broken, that are matching the king of curses. I mean, his physical stats are just extraordinary. It's special grade plus level. He can attack someone between their souls. He can see their souls. He again has domain expansion. He's got simple domain if he ever needs to use it. What does Yuji not have? It kind of reminded me of that time when the disaster curses were fighting Gojo and they were like, Satoru Gojo, what do you not have? Because he has everything. Like, what are you weak in? I really believe that would be Yuji when he's an adult. What weakness would he have? He can heal everything better than a normal reverse curse technique user, and cheaper because of his physiology as a death painting. He's got blood manipulation, a top 3 technique. He's got Sukuna's technique. He's got a domain expansion, simple domain, attack between your soul, physically off the absolute charts. Probably the strongest physical sorcerer in all of Jujutsu history, like at his peak as an adult at 28. What weakness does he have? His instincts are off the charts. His Jujutsu capabilities off the charts. He's got a lot of cursed energy as well. This guy as an adult would have been an absolute behemoth. I do hope it's not the case that Yuji died early or something. That would be pretty sad, and we never got to see him early, but in terms of how strong was prime Yuji, I truly believe he was surpassed by none, and he was the one who surpassed everyone. But hey, that's just my opinion. If you agree or disagree, let me know in the comments down below, and leave a like on the video if you did enjoy it. It helps out so much. Thank you very much. And of course, subscribe for a ton of Jujutsu Kaisen just like this. I already put out a video literally today, within the 24 hours. I already put a video out on Jujutsu Modulo on the new leaked chapters, and I'll have a video out tomorrow. I'll also be streaming today as well, so if you love JJK, I promise you won't regret subscribing. I've got a ton of content like this. But hey, that's all for the video. Have a great day, and take care, guys. Thank you.